Oh my skadoosh bags. We have more core 21, and there's a lot. I think I have about 30, no, about 27 cards to go over. So yeah, bear with me. Let's just get up into them. There's some very interesting ones, a few mythics and some rares and whatnot, and I'm going to show you some like synergy that goes with them and all that good stuff. Here is See the Truth, okay? I think the card's name is See the Truth. It is a 2-drop sorcery. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Choose one to put in your hand and put the others on the bottom of your library in any order. If you cast this spell from anywhere other than your hand, put all cards in your hand. That would be slick if only there was a way to do that. Oh, what? There is? There's several different ways. I think there's about 7 or 8 in all. I do have 6 up here. Light Up the Stage is one. Exile the top 2 cards of your library until the end of turn. On your next turn, you may play those cards. So then you get all 3 cards from this over here if one of them happens to be what pops up at Light Up the Stage and you use it. So that is pretty legit. That's 3 cards you're going to draw off of that. Not only that, but also Chandra, Acolyte of Flame. It's -2. You may cast target instant or sorcery card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard. If that card would be put in your graveyard this turn, exile instead. That's another way that you can maximize the 3 cards. Only paying 2 mana and drawing 3 cards is pretty big of a deal. However, you're going to have some of these cards, if you're playing in Standard at least, in order to do that. Outside of Standard, I'm sure there's several other ways, or a lot of other ways. Dreadhorde Arcanist, as long as its power is 2, you know, if it has a +1/+1 counter on it or something like that, or you pump it, that's another way you can use the card and draw 3 cards. Escape to the Wilds, I think, is where we're going to see quite a bit of play with this card. That and also Vadrak, Apex of Thunder. Whenever this creature mutates, you may cast target non-creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. That's probably going to be your bread and butter. As well, we're also going to have Mission Briefing over here, which has not seen any play in quite some time. But you surveil 2, then choose an instant sorcery card in your graveyard. You may cast that card this turn. If that card would be put into your graveyard this turn, exile instead. So those are quite a few different ways that you can use See the Truth in order to get 3 cards out of the deal. I like that. And 100% we're going to see Vadrak, Apex of Thunder decks abusing this strategy all freaking day. Lorescale coatl. Yeah, it's been reprinted. 3-drop. Whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on this magnificent 2/2 creature. Yeah, I mean, it's in the colors, green and blue, that just are draw heavy. So this thing can get pretty out of control. You know what? Throw a trample counter on it. Call it a day. It's cool to see this snake back at it. There you go. Angelic Ascension. I'm not sure if that's the name of the card. I really don't think so. And also the spelling's incorrect and all that good stuff. But I just threw it up there. For 2-drop instant, exile target creature or planeswalker. Its controller creates a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying. Here's the thing. Now remember, some of these cards, guys, are leaks. You know, you're not going to see them elsewhere. I found them on the internet, and I had to use like translations and all that good stuff in order to throw the cards on the screen for you here. But exiling target creature or planeswalker, that's a very powerful ability. Just exile any creature or planeswalker. Its controller creates a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying. That's a huge downside, but if it's a really pesky creature or planeswalker, might be worth the gamble. However, I believe what we're going to see happen here, and also the good thing is it's an instant. Let's say your opponent was to take out your planeswalker or something. Well, you can do it to your own planeswalker, and then boom, now you have a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying. So you just instantly cast it the second they're going at it, you know, or whatever the case may be. They're removing it, whatever it may be. Creatures attacking it, whatever. Bam! Now you got a 4/4, a white angel creature with flying. Also, if you have like a 0/1 creature out, guess what? You can exile that, and now you have a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying, and it only costs you 2. That's pretty good. I do like this card. Not sure the name of it yet, but it's going to see, I would imagine, a lot of play. White overall is getting a lot of upgrades and a lot of very powerful cards. Chandra, Heart of Fire. We already went over this one, but I wanted to make a correction on this. Because it was very new. It was a leak when I first saw it. Now it's officially released. This is the official design of it. It is a 5-drop. Everything on the card is the same, I believe, as what I initially discussed, except for the -9. Search your graveyard and library for any number of red instant or sorcery cards. Exile them, then shuffle your library. You may cast them this turn. You don't add 100 mana to your mana pool. I think that was in there, but you add 6 red mana to your mana pool. but that is pretty massive as well. So for its -9, that can get out of control. Problem is it's ticking it up really slow, but there are cards in standard right now that allow you to, any red planeswalker gets an additional loyalty counter on it, or you can use 2, you can twice do it or whatever. All types of fun shenanigans there. Now here is another fun card I had to make mention of. Carrion Grub over here. Is a 4-drop. I think this is really cool. I'm definitely going to build decks around this kind of strategy. Carrion Grub gets +X+0, where X is the greatest power among creature cards in your graveyard. When Carrion Grub enters the battlefield, mill 4 cards. So what could you see this being good with? Well, besides like a kind of a self-mill strategy and whatnot, also bringing stuff back from the graveyard would be great, resurrecting things. I've made decks similar, but I think where it'd be a lot of fun is something like Impervious Great Worm and also Titanith Rex. So the cool thing about this is Titanith Rex, you can put a trample counter on target creature you control when you cycle it. So you would put the trample counter on this right here. But however, you would when it enters the battlefield, so okay, it's already cycled. Somehow the interaction is going to happen here. I might be a little flustered in my words right now, but this can definitely happen. The fact that you can just throw a trample counter up on there, but you would have to have like maybe 2 copies, or something like that to work. But as long as this thing has trample, you can now have an 11/5 out on the battlefield, which is pretty sweet. Also, Impervious Great Worm. Now it is a 16/5 on the field. You really want to get that trample onto this creature though, and then also a bunch of other shenanigans for bringing things back from the graveyard. There you have it. All right, I was in the sun a lot today, sorry guys. Head's not there. Elder Gargaroth. Now I'm hearing a lot of mixed reviews about this card. It is extremely powerful, I will tell you that. It is a 5-drop, but people are kind of questioning whether it's going to see a lot of play in standard or not. I will tell you what, if it does see some kind of play in standard, the best bet, it would combo beautifully at Rhythm of the Wild. It is missing something like haste. This thing would be standout amazing. If this was a 5-drop and it had haste written on it, it would be just insane. It has vigilance, it has reach, and it has trample already built into it. And then whenever it attacks or blocks, you can choose one. You can gain 3 life, you could draw a card, or create a 3/3 green beast creature token. I'm assuming whatever would fit your needs. But with something like Rhythm of the Wild, not only does it come out with, well, it comes out with haste. You can choose either haste or a +1/+1 counter. It gets one or the other. You give this thing haste, boom. Now you have a 6/6 with haste, vigilance, trample, and you can draw a card or whatever else the case may be. I think that's very punishing. It's pretty nasty right there. I would definitely want to go that route. Now, Rhythm of the Wild, I don't think it saw any competitive play, but if we are going back and do a standard where maybe at least you can sideboard Rhythm of the Wild, at that point, because maybe your opponent's running a lot of spells, a lot of counter spells and whatnot. Well, now you can't be countered, which would be great for the sideboard. Main boarding Rhythm of the Wild, we'd have to see a lot of other stuff that would play with Rhythm of the Wild, if you're running the Elder Gargaroth. But really, anything that can give this guy haste would stand out a lot in this kind of strategy. Cultivate is back. 3-drop. This was like $1 plus for a card. I know it's seen a lot of prints and commander builds and whatnot, or in commander decks, but a 3-drop that is just amazing. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, reveal those cards, and put 1 onto the battlefield tapped and the other into your hand and shuffle your library for 3. That is pretty good. Definitely amazing ramp. Glad Cultivate's back. Here's Basri's Lieutenant. 4-drop. Creature Human Knight. Remember, I said white's going to be powerful this time around, and it definitely is. Vigilance, protection from multicolored. Vigilance usually is not like the best ability out there, but man, when you actually are running cards with vigilance, you start to see that they have a lot of potential, But not just that, the protection from multicolored, I think, is really where this card shines, because something like it's a Fury is not going to be able to bounce it, or anything that can any multicolored spell that tries to target it or block it or whatever the case may be, it's not going to happen. It's not going to work like that. We'll see you later. It has no why can't I talk today? Impact on it. When Basri's Lieutenant enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. That's pretty legit. The cool thing, I think the really cool thing about this is whenever Lieutenant or another creature you control dies, whenever Lieutenant or another creature you control dies. If it had a +1/+1 counter on it, create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance. So as long as you have other creatures that have +1/+1 counters on them, maybe something like a Rhythm of the Wild. I don't know if that whole strategy would mix up, but that would be pretty powerful if you could. It'd be a 3-color deck, of course. But anything that comes on the battlefield automatically gets that +1/+1 counter on it. But there's also other cards we're going to talk about today that put +1/+1 counters on cards. Maybe this kind of thing, and even a sacrifice kind of build where you're sacrificing cards with the +1/+1 counters on them, putting more 2/2. I don't even know if that would make any sense at that point, honestly. Probably not. But it's just some ideas. The fact that you're getting a lot of value out of this card, I think, is pretty awesome. Next, we like grubs. It is 1 black mana instant. As additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature and draw 2 cards. This is a 1-drop, and all you gotta do is sack 1 creature. Sometimes you want that creature to be in the graveyard, and then you can bring it back or some, craziness. There is that 1 card with the goats and stuff. That would be a target for this, maybe just sacrifice that, or sacrifice 1 of the goats, even better, and then draw 2 cards. Sacrifice a 0/1 goat, whoopity-doo, and then you're drawing 2 cards out of that. I like this card. It's very simple, but you can expect this card to see a lot of play. Here's some new art we have. Good old planes. They are really going a different route, man. It's like we are in Amonkhet and whatnot. I think that's kind of the plane we're going to, right? Aren't we like over that way or something? I don't know. But really neat art. I like what they did. They made a lot of changes with it. Here's Rough. It's a 1-drop planes creature dog. It's a powerful one, man. For 1/1, sacrifice Rough. Target creature you control gains indestructible until end of turn. It's not called Rough, guys, but it is a dog. We get to see another dog here, and sacrificing it. Another creature you control gains indestructible until end of turn is pretty good. It's similar to the whole protection stuff, but man, you get the right massive creature out there, give this thing indestructible. Your opponent can just block with a bunch of stuff, sack it, boom. Now you just kick the crap out of them. Pretty cool stuff. I like it. Chandra's Incinerator. Now here's a fun card. It's a 6-drop creature elemental. This card is good. Okay, this card's good. This spell costs X less to cast, where X is the total amount of non-combat damage dealt to your opponents this turn. It has trample, and whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage to an opponent, Chandra's Incinerator deals that much damage to target creature planeswalker that player controls. This thing is all types of crazy shenanigans here. So remember, it costs X less to cast for every amount of non-combat damage. So what do we have in standard right now that would allow this? You got stuff like the Calamity. You got stuff like Shocks. No Lightning Bolts, unfortunately. They're not, and people were speculating they're going to reprint Lightning Bolt in this set. No, they're not. No, they're not. I'll tell you right now, no, they're not. It's too powerful. I don't see them bringing back Lightning Bolt anytime soon. Might see like Lightning Bolt maybe printed in Commander sets or whatnot, but in just a regular standard set, I don't see Lightning Bolt getting a reprint. Now, if I'm wrong, foot and mouth, but I highly doubt it. But just a Shock alone, right there, you're reducing the casting cost of that spell by 2. Now you don't have to pay 4, and it's a very powerful card. Not only that, but Scorch Spitter, another way you could do that. Some other ways you could do that is Klothys, God of Destiny. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, exile target card, blah, 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 blah. Otherwise, you gain 2 life, and Klothys deals 2 damage to each opponent. That would be non-combat damage, my friends. Pretty legit. That's one way to do it. And then here's the whole mixing the red sources, something like Torbran, Thane of Redfell, to mix in with it. This is a great card. Probably the best card in red, I believe they printed in I can't say in a while, but you can essentially cast this thing for just 1. The only thing it's missing is something like haste. If this thing had haste, forget about it. I mean, it would be a busted card. But this is a card that will branch out, most likely to see play in Modern, definitely like your Pioneer and all that other good stuff. It's a powerhouse, man, and it's an elemental. Ew, that's good. I would love to see this thing drop with haste, though. We'll be making decks soon. Don't worry about it, guys. Next, we have Chandra's Magmut. This is a creature elemental dog. It's a deuce drop. Tap it. Chandra's Magmut deals 1 damage to target player or planeswalker. I liked a little bit of flex on there. It's a 2/2. Then we have Chandra's Pyreling. Sure. 2-drop. Whenever a source, it's an elemental lizard. Whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage to an opponent, Chandra's Pyreling gets +1/+0 and gains double strike until end of turn. Give it trample. Let's just cleave it, Let's just make this a mini cleave, Will be pretty nasty, but cool effects on this card. I do like it. It's fun times. Containment Priest, it's official. Yes, it's now officially a card that's going to be in the set. It's got the flash 2/2. If a non-token creature would enter the battlefield and it wasn't cast, exile it instead. So it will be shutting down some ways that you can cheat and stuff into play or whatnot. Cool stuff. Containment Priest. Then we have Basri's Acolyte, is a 4-drop creature, cat cleric. Just another common card. I do include the majority of the commons and uncommons. I know a lot of other channels don't do that, but I like to cover all of them. I just think you want to get a full idea of this set, you know, and that's why I go that route. But Acolyte enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 other target creatures you control. Cool stuff. Then we have the Solidarity. I like this one. I didn't skip anything there, did I? No, I did not. Okay. Solidarity. This one's sweet. It's 2-drop. The only thing I don't like, it's not an instant, but I think it's a powerhouse. Put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. We have cards similar, but it's like you got to pay 3 for it or 4 for them, you know. But they also have like another ability, like put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. If you cast it during your main phase, you know, creatures also gain indestructible until end of turn, or vigilance until end of turn. Something along those lines. This one's pretty cool. Or you gain life equal to the number of creatures you control. Put a +1/+1 counter on all creatures you control. They gain vigilance, you know, something along those lines. But this is only a 2-drop. If it was instant, I would really, really like this card. I think that's the only thing it's really missing. But outside of that, very, very neat. Then we have Revitalize and Radiant Fountain. These are both reprints. Man, I really hated the Teferi decks. Remember they were running Revitalize and all that crap? Along with Nexus of Fate. Who was around for that? What a nightmare that was, huh? But you gain 3 life, draw a card. Good stuff. Radiant Fountain. Enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life, and you tap it for colorless. Colorless, man. We're going to go back to Eldrazi pretty soon, I bet you. I kid you not. Solemn Crumb is back at it. It's a 4-drop. Reprint. Cool art on this one. Artifact creature. Golem. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land card. Put that card on the battlefield tapped, and shuffle your library. Good stuff. I'm glad it is just, you know, basic land, not something else. And then when it dies, you may draw a card. I have a feeling, a strong one. I got a feeling that we're going to be going back to artifacts soon. I have been saying this quite a bit, but I'd like to see some competitive, you know, maybe 1-color artifact builds out there. I did make a white one not too long ago. That's in Historic. And believe it or not, if you play Arena, man, Historic is a lot of fun. That's been taken off lately. A lot more people are starting to play it and enjoy it. Standard's cool and all, but it's nice to branch out of Standard. Plus, they have so many new cards that they introduced into Historic. You know, why not? Why not have more fun with Arena? You know, branch out a little bit. Historic's a lot of good time. But yeah, very powerful card. Glad it got reprint. Bolt Hound over here, 3-drop. Elemental Dog. It's got the haste. It's deuce. Other creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn whenever this thing attacks. That's pretty good. That's a great way to just close out a game. Problem is it's a 3-drop, so I don't know how powerful that's going to be in Standard. Fungal Rebirth, another good card. Return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. If a creature died this turn, create 2 1/1 green Saproling creature tokens. I hated the Saprolings, but the Saprolings look like they may be back. I wonder if we get any like powerful Saprolings. This is a pretty cool card though. And of course, we have Massacre Worm in all of its bigness. Big old 6-drop creature worm. Enters the battlefield. Creatures your opponents control get -2/-2 until end of turn. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, that player loses 2 life. 6/5. A lot of players' favorite worm. It is a very good card. Sees a lot of play, and the artwork on it, breathtaking. I'm glad they kept the original art because, man, I don't think they could have topped this art. It's just that cool. We're not done. Pestilent Haze. 3-drop. Choose one. All creatures get -2/-2 until end of turn. Remove 2 loyalty counters from each planeswalker. I like it. So, yeah. This could act as a removal for a planeswalker in certain situations, or at least to weaken that planeswalker so it can't -3 or -2 or whatever, or ultimate, you know. It would at least slow it down. And also just giving all creatures -2/-2, not also, but one or the other. That's cool. So it's a flex card. Pretty good. Great for sideboards, guaranteed, or sometimes main boards, depending on the meta. All right, that is all she wrote. Thoughts on this one? Sorry, I stumbled through some of my words throughout this one. Been in the sun today. And I had my boy all morning. Been chasing him around like crazy. Good times. But, wow. What cards you looking forward to using? I'll tell you what. I'm looking forward to anything artifacts because I want to see more artifacts. So I hope we do see some more prints of that. But that is the entirety. Please, if you enjoyed this video, by all means, leave a like. Hit that thumbs up button. It does help out a lot. And check out the links in the description of every video. If you don't know how to comment, it's really easy. If you're on your phone, a lot of people don't realize it's now at the top. You just to comment, it's right at the top now. So if you're watching from your phone, right at the top, you'll see like someone commented. Just click on that, and then it opens up the comments. Thought I'd share that. All right, guys. Appreciate you tuning in. Skadink, skadoosh.